The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. Sup guys, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Was Trained by Ryu Hayabusa. This is part 3. In the last part, Izuku was able to pass the entrance exam, and even got the highest points in the entire exam, beating All Might's record. And he's finally able to go to his dream school, that of UA. And I'm also going to add a couple of characters in this What If Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden characters to this What If actually. The reason being, well, I just wanted them to give Izuku to be Izuku's mentors besides just Ryu. And that's still the same. However, I'm not going to make certain Dead or Alive characters students though, because I just decided, nah, that's just going to be too much of a problem. And I don't want to open that bag of worms. Anyway, but I have decided another thing in this What If. So, that said, let's get into this. Right after Izuku heard the news that he's going to be in UA, he's about to go and contact Ryu, and that he's going to go to UA, his dream school. But that also means he won't be going on fiend hunts like he used to, as he begins about to call Ryu and tell him the good news. Ryu hears this and is glad to hear that his student was able to get into UA, even though he knew that he would, with the training and abilities he went through to finally reach this level of strength. As Izuku also told him about that he's been this blue ninja that everybody's been calling, that's been slaying fiends. However, the public believes that they're just villains. As Ryu also knew this anyway, and says that he'll cover for him. And besides, I doubt the media would ever even get me if they wanted to. As he says, you got a good point there, Master. Any rate, hope you be safe out there. And Ryu saying the same, you as well, Izuku. Be safe. And after a week in between the week before the start of UA, Izuku is confronted by Bakugo, realizing that he only got the second highest and Izuku got the first. Even their principal congratulating them for what they've done, and their teachers as well, that they're able to go to UA. As Bakugo gets pissed off and tells Izuku to meet him outside after speaking with their teacher. Bakugo began trying to grab Izuku and pin him against the wall, but Izuku dodges each and every one, and the last one, he grabs him by the hand and says, "What is your problem, Bakugo? I got no time to deal with your bullshit. I thought you were about to say congrats, or you did it. I'm surprised you were able to do this. But seriously, you're still doing this childish act? Come on." As he says, "You bastard, don't you dare look down on me, you piece of quirkless trash. How did somebody like you are able to go to UA? You're quirkless. You're nothing. How?" As Izuku's saying, it's training. Years and years of life and death training. And that's all I'm going to say to you. As Bakugo surprising, damn it all to hell. Why do I have to share going to school with such a piece of trash? The days go by, and Izuku is ready to go to UA. However, he did since he had to put something on his entry form, and said that his quirk is called Nimpo, and just that. He didn't say the reason on what it's able to do or how he's able to use it, and wondering what it is. It's just Ninpo. Because Izuku doesn't want people to know about the dragon lineage's special techniques or all the other ninja clans' abilities, so he decides to keep that a secret, and just says that he's able to manipulate elements, and that's it. Moving on, Izuku is finally arriving at UA. However, he feels a similar presence at UA as well, wondering on what's going on, until he knows this presence. He knows who this is, but chooses to keep it to himself. He arrives at Class 1A and sees everyone else, and even sees the argument between Bakugo and Ida just like in canon, as Ida tells Bakugo to remove his feet from his desk at once, as Bakugo says, "Seriously? Are you just really trying to pick a fight with me, or did you have a stick up your old school?" And as Ida says, "Seriously? Any rate, let's try this again. My name is Tensei Ida. I'm from the Some Private School Academy." And that's when Bakugo cuts him off and says, "Oh, Some, huh? I'm going to enjoy ripping you a new one." As Ida says, "You would threaten me? Your own classmates?" As Izuku was saying, "This is going to be annoying." As he reminds, "Well, I can just meditate and focus on training and focusing on my spiritual training." As during the break, Izuku was able to master another new Ninpo technique, being Art of the Ice Storm. This technique allows Izuku to create a giant whirlwind of ice shards around him. Not only that, he was even able to condense the ice hurricane into his palm, and releases it against liquid surfaces, freezing it solid completely, which will come in useful later on in this series. With that said, Izuku is soon confronted by Ochiko, who's surprised to see him. As he says, "Hey, you're that ninja boy that I met, and that saved me too. I'm so glad to see you already is in this class as well." As Izuku knew that she was coming anyway, and decided, "Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Izuku Midoriya." And she says, "I'm Ochako Uraka. Pleasure to meet you." Soon after, Ida notices Izuku and Ochako and goes up to them, and mostly to Izuku, and says, You were during the same area as I in the entrance exam, and you were able to get the highest points. Your abilities and skills are unphenomenal. I've never seen a person with quirk like yours." As Izuku says, "Don't worry about it. And besides, it wasn't just a quirk. It was years and years of dedicated training that I've been through. Blood, sweat, and tears were in my fight that you saw." As Ida's saying, "You went through that much training for this exam, to get into this school?" And it says, "Yes, I did." Soon after, Izuku also sensed the presence of Aizawa in the back, as he says, "You care to explain who you are? Because just laying down on the floor just seems pretty weird if I say so." As both Ida and Ochiko realized that a man was in a yellow sleeping bag, was laying on the floor, and doesn't look like he had many sleep, just saying, "So you know I was here from the very beginning. I'm pretty impressed. Not many people would notice that I'm being here." As he comes out of the sleeping bag and says, "So, you're a lot more quicker to shut up than I expected. And I guess it won't be too far off." As he pulls out, as Ochiko wonders, "Who are you?" And he says, "Your homeroom teacher. But before I introduce myself, here, put these on and meet me outside." As a couple minutes later, everyone arrives into the practice field. As Ochiko asks, but we're going to miss the entrance ceremony. Don't you think we should be there? As Ida says, I agree. What is the purpose of us being here? As Izuku realizes, I think I know where this is going. Soon after, Aizawa says, UA is not like the traditional schools. Being homeroom teachers have the right to choose and how they run their class any way they want. So if I wanted you to be at the entrance ceremony, you would be, don't you think? Soon at any rate, I want to test on all your abilities and how you got into this school. As he has a ball in his hand, he takes the ball from behind him and throws it at Izuku. As he says, you, Midoriya, you got the highest points in the entrance exam. Tell me, what was your farthest throw that you could throw during your junior high? As he says, at least 150 meters. As he says, surprising. Didn't expect that. As he says, try doing that with your quirk. As Izuku hears this, he begins thinking to himself, what should he use? He could use any of his other Ninpo techniques or any of his other skills, but decides not to. But decides to just use one of them. The technique he basically already learned just already. He throws the ball in the air. While doing this, he uses the same hand signs and creates art of the Inferno, launching a fireball right at the ball, launching it far in the air. As everyone sees this, they're all surprised and wondering how. Wow, I thought he had a different quirk. That's what I heard all over. As it says, yeah, I thought he had more weapons than anything else. And then Bakugo thinking to himself, how? He's quirkless. He doesn't have a quirk. He's not supposed to have a quirk. As he realized, if he had a quirk all this time, he could have had something like that. He could have gotten to UA years ago. How? As Aizawa says, I want all of you to use your quirks in this exam, and give it everything you got as well. As everyone is surprised and shocked hearing this, that they're going to have some fun. That this is going to be fun, that they can use their quirks all they want. And as Aizawa says, oh, is that the case? Then if you really think this is going to be fun, how about this? Anyone who gets the lowest scores gets expelled. As everyone says, what? How? You can't, as Ochiko even says, you can't expel us. We all worked hard to get in this school. It's not fair. As Aizawa says, so, power-hungry villains, natural disasters, are they supposed to be fair? As In says, no, they're not. The world is full of unfairness. It's your job to combat that unfairness. If you can't give it everything you got, then you have no right to be a hero. You gotta give it everything you have, plus ultra style. And as Izuku says, so that's his plan. He's trying to see which one of us is the weakest and get rid of us. If anything, it's understandable. But it's unfair in some way. As Bakugo didn't really give a damn what Aizawa says as his anger begins to blow and rushes at Izuku at full speed, saying, Deku! Tell me how you got a quirk now, you bastard! As Aizawa was preparing to wrap around him, Izuku basically was already behind Bakugo before he could even react. And everyone else was surprised seeing this too, thinking, whoa, what the hell? How did he... But again, thinking, does he have another quirk? He just made it here without anyone noticing. As Aizawa was just as surprised, thinking, so he doesn't have it. So is that a quirk or a reflex? I can't even say for sure. As Izuku basically says, don't worry, it's not a quirk. It's just how fast I can really move. I've done training pretty hard. As Aizawa is surprised hearing this, that a kid like him been through training like that. But that aside, he soon yells at Bakugo, "You have an outburst like that again, you're done for today. You got it?" After hearing this, Bakugo begins growling like crazy and soon calms down for a bit. The exam begins starting as everyone gives it everything they got. As for Izuku, once again, things changed in this timeline. Actually, Izuku does a lot more better. In the 10-meter dash, he actually makes a lot more faster than Ida. Because Ida was given everything he's got, but he didn't expect Izuku to reach his speed with the two of them tying at the same time. Their speed reaching and their time limit being only 3 seconds, as everyone is surprised hearing this and again thinking that how is Izuku moving this quickly and this fast. Soon after grip strength test, Izuku actually gets second, still behind Kirishima, being with his hardening quirk and everything. And long jump, Izuku does a lot more better since he's been working way much more easier with stuff like this. And he's able to jump even higher, even in the air with multiple flips, just like Ryu, and has at least 15 meters in the air, and lands pretty far as well. But only gets third, first being Sue and second being Bakugo. But Izuku doesn't really care too much. And as for side jumps, Izuku does pretty well in that. Actually, he's almost moving so fast, he's creating after images in a way, as everyone wonders how's that even possible. Even faster than Mineta, who gets second place. And since he already did his ball throw, Uraka still gets first place in that one, being infinite. And Bakugo tries his best to match Izuku's, which he actually does get farther than Izuku, just to prove that he's better than him anyway, and gets second place. And there, the exam ends with Aizawa showing everyone their test results, being last place being Minoru Mineta, as he has a jaw drop and gets wondering, "Oh, this is unfair. This can't be right." As Aizawa says, "Sorry, Mineta, but that's how I've made it. You don't have the potential of being a hero, so you're expelled." As Izuku saying, "Wait, sir, I can get where you're coming from. A person like Mineta's quirk doesn't have what it takes to be a hero, if I do say so. However, I think you're expelling him for the wrong reason. I think you should give him at least a second chance. Expel him from the hero course, but not from UA." As Aizawa says, "What makes you think that?" As Izuku saying, "Everyone deserves a second chance. Let Mineta prove that he can be a hero. Put him in the general studies course, and let him earn the spot back in class 1A. Don't you think? Or at least into the hero course in general." As Aizawa says, "You make a fair point, but my decision is final. He's expelled, and that is it." As Izuku saying, "Then what if I beat you in a fight? If I win, you only expel him from the hero course, but not from UA. And if I lose, you can expel me as well from UA as well." As everyone surprised this and wondering why Izuku was challenging their homeroom teacher, as he begins wondering, "What? You really sure you want to do this? I mean, you're really full of yourself on your first day, don't you think?" And as Izuku saying, "You're one to talk, Mr. Aizawa," or should I say Eraserhead. As everyone wonders that that Mr. Aizawa is the eraser hero, Eraserhead. And Aizawa begins thinking it over and realize, okay then, if you win, Mineta will be in general studies and will be able to prove and has to prove to me that he earns to be in the hero course again. However, if I win, you and Mineta are done from UA in general. You got that? As Izuku saying, it's fair. It's a fair trade if I do say so. As everyone's shocked hearing this and prepares to battle. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Please leave a like and subscribe, which helps on my channel a lot. At any rate, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later.